with Hounds today, winner of Top Golf Media's Who Will Rock You band competition. Your recent single, Shake Me Up, is a delicious mixture of jukebox soul and reformist rock, and I really loved listening to it. And it kind of gives us a little glimpse for your upcoming album, Kettle in the Sky. So I'm super excited to have you guys here today. How are you doing?
So good.
Doing really well, yeah. Excited to be talking about the record and just be here doing an interview. That's fun.
So I want to start this interview where it all started, which is in high school. In 2010, you started your first band. So it was Jordan, Logan S, and Logan M. And it was called Clockwork. Within 2 years, you guys were already, touring, and you were opening for Andy Grammer, OAR, Blues Traveler. Was there a moment on that tour where you guys were thinking, damn, we're really doing this? Like, this is really happening?
I think I believe this may ring true for Logan Moeller as well. But I think for me, it was when we were doing a string of shows with a band called The Urge out of St. Louis. And it was the second show we did with them in Columbia, Missouri. We played a show at the Blue Note. And that was one of the most impactful shows for us as the three-piece at that point, to just say, okay, wait, this is feeling real. This is feeling like something that, like, I hope that this is what it's like. Because of that energy, that energy was the kind of thing that really sparked something for me.
For me, it was actually one of the smaller shows, but it was very important. It was when we opened for Chuck Berry at the Blueberry Hill. It was a much smaller show than the Urge one, but it was there's so much history within it that it felt like, okay, wow, like if we can open for Chuck Berry, maybe we're doing something kind of cool.
Yeah.
Maybe you're doing something right. After Clockwork, you decided that you no longer wanted to do something that just felt like business. I read that in your bio. And I always feel like the business part kind of takes away the magic that music actually is. So I want to know, how did you regain that magic of creating freely after Clockwork and you just refining yourself in a way?
We had a really good opportunity. We had a bunch of songs we were sitting on kind of right at the end of Clockwork. And we were like, we want to go back into the studio and try recording these, but let's kind of try it away from the pressure of what anybody thinks they should be. And, not having somebody in the boardroom, saying, no, you're not doing this part right, or you're not doing this part right. It was a really free experience for the first time for us to get to record and not have anybody's input, really, somebody over your shoulder the whole time.
Yeah, the only real input was each of us looking at each other at the end of the song and being like, good?
Yes.
Is it good?
What do you guys think? Yeah.
And that's how it kind of should be, right? Because it comes from your soul. So it should be something where you're like, oh, I can stand behind it. Like, this is something that actually is true to me,
Exactly.
So yeah, and I'm glad, listening to your new album, I'm glad that you found your way back to that and out of the cute local boy band type of box that you were kind of put in. How has this nationwide band competition with Top Golf Media changed the trajectory of your guys' career?
I'd say very simply, it kind of got us back to a place where we could create freely, but have a much larger audience with the introduction to BMG and the same songs that we've all been playing for a while. So.
And the winner of Who Will Rock You is Hounds! Walking away with $50,000 and an exclusive development deal with BMG.
One of my favorite, turnouts of getting to work with BMG is just, we got to really prove, it seemed like we got to really prove ourselves and build a confident relationship with our label. Simply because when we first started working with them, they were initially setting up and emails for Jack and I to start working with more writers and start working with like people that they thought, okay, well, we'll set you up with a bunch of people. This is how we typically do it. With the best songs will win. We'll put together an EP. We'll do some sort of thing like that. And we're like, hey, but before we do that, check out these songs. Check out these songs. Check out these songs. And they came back and they pretty much gave us 100% artistic creative control, which was, we couldn't have asked for more.
Yeah, that's amazing. But that's also kind of a tap on your guys' shoulder, be like, we delivered something where they're like, you don't even need our help. You don't even need the assistance, that. And that's really, so you guys also go way back, your brothers and then your friends from high school. And so I want to play around of Ask My Bandmates, and this is how it works. Each of you has a pen and a paper handy, I know that. And I'll ask you a bunch of rapid fire questions and you write down one name per round, and then we'll see how well you know each other. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, cool. So who is the funniest in the band?
Okay.
Let us see. Okay, now when you have all written it down, you can show it to the camera and see if we have
Ready?
an answer. Yep, show it. Jack!
You know, when roles were being established, I was like, you know what? It's my limelight. I'm going to be the funny guy.
We've broken us down so much. We just laugh at everything. Our humor's broken.
Yeah.
The bar is so low, yeah.
Well, that's cool. Well, we need one funny guy in the band for sure to keep it fun. Who is the most poetic?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Scrap the whole answers. Y'all
Yeah.
ready?
Okay, ready? All right.
Slogan.
Slogan. I like that nickname.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Jordan.
Oh, 2 for 2. Yeah.
No, Jordan
I feel like I can't answer for myself, so I'm not going to vote myself on anything.
that answer is the most
Well,
humble.
if you're confident that you are the most poetic, then you can. It's okay.
I'm definitely conflicted by it. So
Then you'd be the most arrogant.
That's actually not part of my questions. Maybe we
We'll do our own later.
we'll do our own later for that one. Yeah, it's going to go up on the story.
Who is the most responsible? Kind of like the dad of the group. Who would save you out of a, over a Vegas situation if you ever were in one?
A Vegas situation. Okay.
My definition for responsible varies depending on the situation.
Vegas is different from responsibility, I think.
What happened to G?
I mean, if you got in some, in some trouble somewhere, like, let's think the movie Hangover, and then, who would save you out of it?
That's how I went about it.
Who'd be the one who's like, nah, we should go to bed. We should not do this. Nothing good happens after 2.
The bed person? I know the bed person.
All right. Do you guys have it already? Or you're still?
Okay.
All right. So let's see it.
Ready?
Yep.
Nice.
Logan M.
Logan/me.
Logan/me. Okay, so
I like how we all answered each other.
That's funny. That's all. Okay, you're definitely not decided yet on that one.
We're all very irresponsible.
Oh, I see. Well, sometimes it's also fun to be irresponsible, but I never said that. So, who's the messiest on the tour bus?
Okay, yeah, that's easy.
I'm just gonna
Go with my heart.
Yeah, go with your heart on this one.
Are you ready?
All right. Turn when you're ready.
Jordan. Slogan.
Jordan.
Slogans in general.
Logan has 2 though. Uh-oh.
Well, but Jordan did too, kind of, because he's part of Sloan's, so that.
Okay, so last one of this one is, who's the most romantic?
Romantic.
Who's the hopeless romantic?
Let's see.
Romantic. Geez, this is a harder one.
Yeah.
Harder one for me.
Maybe you can, gauge it by who writes the most love songs, or if you write new songs about being heartbroken.
Well, that actually works in favor for mine, so thank you.
All right, let's see it.
Boom.
Right. I'm with Logan Moeller.
Slogan.
Slogan. Okay.
Compared to the other 2, Moeller, I feel like.
True. I just see you as the only one that can lock down a wife, so like that's
True.
There must be some romantic in you. That's true.
I don't really think it's based on romance, though. I feel like I've done very little in the way of romance.
But see, when she brought the song thing, I was like, okay, Logan is historically written more positive love songs.
This is true.
Than anyone else in the group. Mine are usually like broody and and angsty.
That's true.
And yours are usually like, I'm gonna love you forever.
love that. Well, actually, that brings me to, we finished this round anyways, and that brings me to a question that I was going to ask you later, but I feel like it's just fitting right now. When I listened to Kettle in the Sky, I was thinking there's so many, you tackle so many big topics, and it's, you know, love, but also heartbreak, morality. And for me also, like, you know, pain is such like an inspiring emotion sometimes to write poetry or to write, but I want to know what emotion inspires you the most to write music.
Rage.
That's a quick one.
Yeah.
We can definitely hear some of that on the album.
Honestly, I think that's the root of all of it. I think that most of my personal songwriting comes from a moment of me just having a gut emotional reaction that is most directly related to, or what feels like rage, even though it's not like hostile or necessarily like angry output. It's just like that's where it starts, and then it's upset is what it is. Like there has to be some form of cause to get the effect, and for me it just communicates. I was thinking about this earlier today. I was like, it kind of feels like rage, but it doesn't have to be negative. It's I just like it's cause and effect reaction kind of a thing.
I feel like those extreme highs and those extreme lows bring out the creativity in you. You know what I mean? Like you gotta hit rock bottom, but you might write a good song.
Well, nobody's writing on like a fine day. Like this is fun. Yeah, they're writing when they feel something. At least I feel like that's
Paul McCartney. It's just another day. I feel like it has to be something that overwhelms you, whatever it is. Yeah. You don't necessarily, and maybe that's why I chose rage as my first gut reaction. Is like, oh, it has to be rage. But also Logan's written a lot more happy songs than I have. But the happy songs I did write, it was just because I was overwhelmed in that moment of just being like, I either am loving this particular part of life or this person or this thing so much that I'm not there with it, so I have to write about it now. And it just kind of pours out of you.
I love that.
When she moves like that, she knows that I got it bad. She could just tear me apart, you shake me up.